everybody. This is Charles Pedroso of the Pedroso Team, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage in White Plains, New York. This is Steve Candal from Grotto Plumbing, a 60-year industry company locally here in Westchester County. You guys are in Hawthorne?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming out and meeting with us today.
Thank you.
So Steve has agreed to give us some insight for either prospective home buyers or home sellers in terms of plumbing. What you'd expect and maybe what you should look for if you're looking to purchase a home or maybe even sell your home or even just in general, good upkeep and maintenance for your home in terms of plumbing.
Right.
Is that right? Thanks so much again. And let's just jump right into it if we could, okay?
Of course.
We have a few bullet points that we're going to touch on today. First of all, the water main.
Right.
What should we know about it?
So the first thing, like when you're trying to purchase a house, you purchase the house. First thing you want to do is locate your water main. A lot of people out there, sometimes they don't necessarily know where to look. It's always good.
Basement, good place to start?
Yeah, it's a good place to start. You want to make sure you locate those shut-off valves, make sure they're intact. In case of an emergency, you want to be able to shut your water down.
So if something happens, like a pipe burst or something, and
Exactly.
you have this, you don't know where the water main is, you're going to spend a lot of time dealing with water while you're trying to find the
You
thing.
don't want to be calling a plumber and while you're waiting for someone to answer the phone, you got water rushing into your basement, your house, and potentially destroying your house and all of your belongings.
That's good. Okay, so the water main, very important. Find it, know where, make sure it's in working order, know how to shut it off and on, and then be ready to call Grotto Plumbing if you ever have any issue on that item. Next up, boilers.
Boilers.
Tell me about them.
All right. When purchasing a house and your house has a boiler, you want to find out the age of the boiler.
Right.
If they're approaching like 20 years or so, or if they're over 20 years, probably going to want to consider immediate replacement.
That's the general lifespan.
That's
about
the general
20 years.
lifespan of the boilers these days, 20 years.
Now, what are the downfalls of not replacing, say, you're 18, 19, or 22 years in, you're getting away, maybe cheating a little bit with
when it comes down to your first heating season, you start up the boiler and you realize that like controls are failing and you're going to have to call a plumber.
Yeah.
Come out there and be like, look, we're going to have to replace this, this, and that. Or possibly replace the boiler.
Right, and I imagine for an emergency service sometimes, especially if you need somebody immediately, it may pay a little bit more, even in the cold months trying to deal with that sort of issue.
Especially in the colder months, you're going to want heat in your house because that could lead to other problems like bursted pipes.
Yeah, I've seen it in homes, and that's when the value of the home dips substantially. In this county, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you so much for that.
No
talk to me a little bit about septic systems.
Septic systems. Depending on the size of your house, you're going to want that service between like 1 and 3 years, depending on how many bathrooms you have. You don't want to, treat it, pump it out regularly. Keep on top of that.
Yeah, and when you say treat it, you're doing what? And some chemicals or something to that? Okay, and that's just cleaning it out, keeping it nice, and not having it
intact.
Yeah, I've been on some sites where you can even smell the, in the field and stuff, and you've got damage there. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Thank you so much. And for those of you in northern Westchester County, lower Putnam, even in middle Westchester County, going towards northern Westchester County, so White Plains and up, you'll find a lot of these septic systems on these properties. So take that advice, call Grotto Plumbing should you have any questions on that topic. Next item that we're going to talk about today, Steve, is drain lines. Help me understand some issues.
All right. First things first. Depending on the age of the house, you want to make sure your drain lines are intact.
Yeah.
Especially in places that you can't see.
Like
behind your walls.
Behind your walls.
Behind your walls, underneath tubs. When there's like a drop ceiling or whatever, and you can remove the ceiling tiles, you might want to,
like in a basement or something.
You want to have that inspected. Older houses have.
What are you looking for in those drain
galvanized lines?
Yeah.
Galvanized piping.
Yeah, and you can tell that metal, that odd color metal,
right.
and is the diameter a certain diameter or thick?
Typically 2 inch, 3 inch maybe. Yeah, you're gonna want to check that out.
And you want to take that stuff out.
Yeah, you want to completely replace it with either PVC or cast iron.
Which will the PVC will last at least as far as we know indefinitely. Cast iron fails, corrodes, fails, right?
PVC is the way to go.
Yeah, I've seen it, and every time I see it, I get really happy when I walk into a listing and I find out that they've done this work already, a home that we're looking to sell or a home that we're looking to buy, and you see this, you could say somebody invested not only just pride of ownership and the money involved, but they're protecting this home and ensuring its future, right? That's good stuff. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the frost-free hose bibs.
Frost-free hose bibs.
Yeah.
Well, first, you know, if you have outdoor hose spigots, you
Yeah.
want to make sure that they have shut-off valves for them.
Mm-hmm.
Older hose bibs, they weren't meant to, you know, withstand that bitter cold with water filled in them.
Right.
They could tend to burst.
Right.
That's why you might want to replace them with frost-free hose bibs.
Mm-hmm.
Less likely to freeze over. But
Mhm.
again, if they don't have shut-off valves, you might want to install them that way. In the colder months, you can winterize them.
So for something so small as a hose bib, that could potentially protect you from having a major frost problem and losing.
Frost-free hose bib,
Yeah.
yes.
For the hose,
when,
at least.
When the water line is that close to the outside wall,
Yeah.
and drafts come in,
Yeah.
and especially on those like sub-zero days,
Yeah.
you know, that pipe can freeze over, and when it thaws out, it will burst.
There you go. So take care of that. Look for that, and if you don't know where to find it, again, you can call Steve or the guys at Grotto, and they'll help you take care of that problem. We were talking about washing machine hoses, and I've seen, you know, we mentioned the rubber
Right.
kind. I've seen even what looked to be some sort of rigid piping, and I don't
Right.
even know if there was any. Tell
So
me.
a lot of current houses still have old rubber washing machine hoses, and as they age,
Mhm.
around the connection, they swell up and they can burst.
Mhm.
If you're not home, your house will get destroyed and flooded with water.
Because that water is running through, and the only thing stopping
the
it
amount
is
of pressure
the
going through those lines,
right.
you know.
Yeah, that's good advice.
So you're gonna want to replace them with stainless steel braided hoses.
And those prevent the burst from
Oh,
ever
yeah.
happening again.
Yes.
There you go. Stainless steel hoses, relatively inexpensive piece of material. Obviously, the labor costs associated
Yeah.
with it, but goes a very long way in terms of preventative maintenance.
Absolutely.
There it is. One more here on this topic of plumbing, and I think we can wrap it up. But underground sewer lines. This is not a small topic in any way. So tell me a little bit about underground sewer
Right.
lines.
So when purchasing a home, again, you know, to take further action, being proactive, you're gonna want to have a camera inspection performed.
Right.
Pretty much, it's a snake. It runs through your main sewer line,
Mhm.
and it would check for any potential tree roots growing in there,
Mhm.
any back pitches or misconnections, you know,
Mhm.
due to, like, you know, natural causes.
So you'll source out the problem by sending a little snake in there with a camera, and you'll know exactly where, at least
Right.
when you run into the first instance of a problem, you'll find it.
You want to catch that before
Yeah.
you know you have any problems.
And where do you bring in that snake? From any drain?
Through the house trap.
Through the house trap?
Hmm.
Right. Generally found in a basement?
Yep. Or a crawl space.
Or crawl space, right.
Usually in a pit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I've got one. Very good. All right, this is really helpful. I think just we haven't really expanded into extreme detail, but you've added so much value, I think, to any prospective home buyers and even home sellers, or even those who are watching this video who haven't had thoughts of either buying a home, or even those who haven't had thoughts of selling a home. If you own a home, if you have plans to own a home, these are very valuable insights from the pros at Grotto Plumbing. Steve, I thank you so much for coming
Thank
by.
you.
I appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it.
We'll talk soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, guys, for watching. You know how to reach us at Pedroso Team.